It's late again up in this bitch. 12:30. But you know what? Yesterday, because I'm filming this as of Monday night, if you guys aren't aware, Tuesday mornings, 7 a.m, weekly podcast, The Boys. And then Thursday, if you aren't aware of my YouTube channel, I upload a video every Thursday as well. I'm on a schedule. It's actually really quite nice to have a schedule. But I've gotten up not that bad. I used to get up actually, oh god, I used to get up quite late. I'm trying to change that. I've getting up at like 9, around 8 and 9. I need to push that back further. I've got to get adapted to it. Like, that is my thing to do now. I have to get adapted to it because it's just nice getting up early, like really nice. And then once you, like, you know, you go full time and shit, that just changes everything. But yeah, I've gotten up early past couple of days. I want to keep continuing it. I want to keep it a routine, get things done in the morning. You know, I have to like start doing scripts and stuff for this. I want to start getting a bit more professional, especially with my YouTube as well. Yeah. But everyone, welcome to another episode of the Robert Verdugo podcast, episode 14. We're almost hitting the 20 podcasts. That's J up. I actually believe that is a massive J up. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back mentally, because I actually am quite proud of that I hit 20. Almost. Getting there. Still like quite a bit to go. But yes, episode 14. If you aren't aware, here on the Robert Verdugo podcast, I upload every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. This is Australian Eastern Standard Time. Melbourne time specifically. But I upload every Tuesday, and if you aren't aware of my YouTube channel, which is Verdugo.Vibes, I upload every Thursday as well. So I do have a schedule going, and I quite like it. I've noticed you guys who comment have noticed that I have a schedule, and it's good to see that I'm uploading quite regularly, and I really, really appreciate the comments. Like, I don't show it enough at all, and I really do appreciate it. It keeps me at bay. It fuels my fire, if that makes sense. If you can hear this little thingamabob in the background, it's my large coconut sugar from Hungry Jack's. I literally went and inhaled 2 burgers, and I don't regret it one bit. I really don't. I haven't eaten anything all day, and thought, you know what, especially for the pod, you know, I got to jam myself up because I've been hungry all day. And yes, today's topic on the podcast is going to be more fashion related as well, because I know you guys actually quite like that. And if you haven't already checked out last week's episode, it was with my man Raimundo, apologies. I'm such a dumbass, honestly. We did a podcast last week, which actually went for about an hour, and we spoke about a variety of different topics, including fashion and the way we go about purchasing certain items. What is our thought process when we purchase certain products? For instance, if I went out, especially when I was in Tokyo, what is my method for buying a $700 pair of Rick Owens mainline pants? What the fuck would go through my mind when I'm buying that? I mean, go into a bit of detail on the process of it, you know, the research, the necessity of a certain item. If I'm after an item that I have my eyes set on, for instance, if I'm after a cropped black pair of trousers, the Rick Owens is my first on my list. And then I'll go into a variety of different brands. Can't name off the top of my head, obviously. But you will go into a bit of research and kind of fish out what kind of stuff within that certain product you want to cop. For instance, if you're looking for a side bag, you can go vintage Carhartt if you want, or you can rip out Head Porter or Mr. Porter, which 100% would highly recommend getting, because Head Porter actually will go out of business at the end of this year. And by go out of business, I don't necessarily mean that. It's not necessarily that they're changing their name, like going out of business. They're actually rebranding the entire Head Porter, Mr. Porter line. So if you are in the market for getting a Head Porter bag, I highly recommend you guys get one now while you still can. But one topic that came on my mind, which we actually didn't speak about, and I believe is a really good topic to talk about now, especially alone in this pod in the car, is style. how do you go about your style? We can talk about, we obviously are. We're going to talk about my style in particular, the way it's evolved over the years, because style and the way you perceive yourself to society doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you start off liking a certain item, whether it be hype beast, which was in my case, and then you progress and you get older and you mature to more niche brands. You kind of find your place within the fashion realm and what kind of items and what kind of vibe and steez you're after. If you aren't aware of the word steez, fucking look it up. But style overall, it's very hard to define style for someone. It's very hard to find your own style. I definitely found that, and still find that actually quite hard sometimes, because I don't want to, this is the thing, I don't want to put myself in one particular style and be solely, completely dived into that, if that even makes sense. I don't want to be so restricted to that one style. That's the word I'm looking for, restricted. I don't want to be restricted to a certain brand or a certain style or a certain steez forever, because that doesn't work. As you get older, your taste obviously changes. Your body will change obviously too. And this is what we're going to talk about now. Where did my style initially start? What did I like initially? And that's quite simple. Fuckboy steez. Oh, legit. Fuckboy, shitty white boy steez. Honestly, I can't be more honest than that. And if you're like that right now, it's fine. I'm not judging, or am I? But honestly, on a real note, as every single fashion fuckhead would say, I like style, I like fashion since I was a kid. I dress nice. But that's literally the case. As a kid, I would always, kind of pay attention to what I would wear. And obviously my mum had a big influence on that as well. Even when I was like in primary school, in the early ages of primary school, we go to Pumpkin Patch. If you know what that is, it's like it was Australia. I'm pretty sure they had a business like ages ago. But it was just like baby and toddler and, really, really early childhood type vibe. And mum would always buy me clothes from Pumpkin Patch. And I loved it. Like, she dressed me so well and just looked so freaking good. And it progressed further to where I was at the end of high school, end of primary school, start of high school. When I was in early high school, like year 7, year 8, I would always go to Cotton On. It was, Cotton On. I really want to start pronouncing my T's properly. I want to start speaking a bit more professionally with the T. So Cotton On, as weird as that sounds, was actually a brand where I would always dive into. My mum would always just buy me stuff from there. I was being completely honest. When I was in high school, year 7 and 8, I was broke, I only just started working at the end of year 8, I believe. Just like casually and shit like that. But I would go to Cotton On and I would get like literally the Cotton On wife beater was like a steez back then. I would wear that on the daily in year 7. I'd wear like jeans from like JJ's that had like a bit of a skinny look. It was typical like fuckboy back then type look. But it was funny was that not many people were wearing what I was wearing. I'll be completely honest. And my hair was all over the joint. It was just like the typical Justin Bieber fringe look, but it went long. Like, it was a long fringe, like from the start of my forehead up until the end of my chin on one side. I can't believe I'm admitting this on the podcast. I can't believe this. But it was, like, legit. I'll be honest with you guys. It was that style back then, that whole JB emo type style. And I would wear skinny jeans, whether it be like an acid wash or a really, really light, ugly blue type of denim wash. Skinny fit, sagged slightly for the added cringy look. And I'd wear Vans that weren't Vans. They were from like Kmart. or Big W, and they were like $12, and I'd wear those. But as I evolved throughout my high school years, I still went through that stage because obviously it's a price point matter. You obviously have to take in consideration that if my parents are buying me stuff, they're not going to go like these kids today. My mum's not going to go fork out $1,000 for a pair of shoes for me. Not a fucking chance. She's not going to go out and get me a pair of en plissé pleats for like $280, which is retail in Japan, by the way. She's not going to fork out that for me. Not a chance. Well, even when I was a kid, like even then, I'd spend like $60-$70 and we'd get quite a lot. We go to these Cotton On sales. It sounds so weird me saying that, but I'm just going to roll with it. We go to these sales from Cotton On, and it was, $5 for a t-shirt, $10 for pants, and just rack up clothing like no tomorrow. Because I knew it was my one time to buy some stuff and I would use it. So I did. Went through all of high school, progressing further. And as I hit the ends of year 9, the start of year 10, that's when I started to have a bit more of a taste. It was the vintage. I would go solely vintage. That's all I would do. I remember back in high school where I would go to this certain place next to my house. I remember I'd finish high school, I'd be on the bus, I'd go with like one of my best mates at the time. It'd be like a group of us, like 2 of us or 3 of us. Get on the bus, we'd go, like on the way home, we'd stop by this place, and it was Savers next to my house. And we'd go there, honestly, 3 to 4 times a week. Like 5 days school, 4 days thrifting. That was legit my life. Because it was cheap. It was extremely affordable. Because I remember I would get $10 for lunch. I knew that day I was copping a garment. I knew I was going to go home with something if I saved that $10 that my mother gave me. I would go home, and on the way home I'd stop by the Savers and I'd go and just go a bit thrifting with my mates. And it was good, I still have one of those pieces today. I've actually got quite a few. I've got 2 of them. I've got one flannel shirt from Stussy that is one of the best quality flannel shirts I've ever owned. From Stussy, vintage as hell, and the material on it is just impeccable. It's a nice cotton wool blend, but it's not itchy at all. The fit of it is a size small, but it actually fits like a size large. And it's, at this point in time, because I will admit I'm semi-dad bod, but, maybe 2 months down the line, it'll fit even better than it does now. And I will admit, semi-dad bod, and I've seen someone comment, like, you dress really well for your body type, and I really appreciate that, because I try my best, and it's good to dress for your body type. But that is definitely for another podcast. It's a completely different topic. So I used to go there, got my Stussy flannel, and I also have this vintage Adidas sweatshirt, which set like back in the 90s, tags just beautifully done. It's just faded in a nice teal/aqua colorway. It's very beautiful and soft to the touch. Fits okay for now, but I know it will fit impeccable later. And those were the 2 pieces that I really owned. And then that's where my vintage style kind of progressed from the start of year 10. I would always just go thrifting. And back then, I wouldn't say it was like a negative thing to have thrifting. It wasn't so like looked down upon. Yeah, people would say like you're stingy for shopping at Savers. Like, oh, you're going to Savers, $5. But honestly, like that was the steez back then. That's what I liked. I remember my friend used to go to Savers and he'd flip or whatever. This was before Depop, before Gumtree, before anything was a thing. The only potential factor, Instagram had just actually been like announced. Like it'd been like 6 months since Instagram was open, or whatever it was. But he opened his Instagram shop. And even back then, like we were on Facebook, selling stuff on Facebook. That was the vibe. We'd be on Facebook. I can't remember what the brand was or like the market. But we'd go and we'd just flip stuff. And it was good money. It was very good money. I opened my Instagram account in year 11 as well. Throughout year 11, end of year 10, start of year 11, throughout all that year, I would go purposely thrifting and flip stuff on Instagram. I'd meet up with just complete randoms as a kid. And it sounds so fucked if I think about it. But I made some money off it. It wasn't like a lot of money, but it wasn't too bad. And that's where, where it went. This whole from year 9 up until year 12, that was what I did. I'd go thrifting. Yeah, I'd shop at like the typical just shopping center places, the ones that everyone went to. But afterwards, that's where I kind of started diving deep into a little bit of the high fashion steez, but in a really bad way. I would, I think it was throughout end of year 12. So this would have been 2014. This year is 2014, fresh out of high school. The following year, finished year 12, graduated, was starting uni. And I remember I would be rocking just whatever Kanye was wearing. This back then, 2014, between 2013 to 2015, Kanye was one of the biggest influences for what I used to wear. There's this particular fit, or I can still picture it to this day, pair of Visvims and a Rick Owens Parker, and that is one of the most steeziest outfits. Oh my days, man. That fit, oh man, paired up with some he's also got another fit with like a pair of Jordans, a Henley short sleeve shirt. It's like, if you know what a Henley is, it's just a t-shirt, but it's actually got 3 buttons at the collar. So, kind of gives off that Mandarin vibe, but short sleeve. Was wearing that like all unbuttoned, flipping a few chains underneath, and then rocking a pair of leather pants and Jordan 1s. Oh man, Jordan brand was one of the biggest things that I loved back then. And even still to this day. I recently uploaded a wish list for 2020, which actually did really well. So I really thank you for everyone that's watched it. And I forgot to mention the Jordan 1. It is one aspect of just something it's something I definitely want to have in my closet, because it is such an iconic, easily wearable shoe. And the way I used to wear it back in 2014, because I had a pair of Jordan 1s, but they actually were, it's the model from 2009. It's not technically a bread. I don't really quite remember what it was, but I used to rock that shoe. And I will admit, I can't believe I'm going to admit this on the pod, but I did have a pair of Royal 1s that were unfortunately fake. Did I know at the time of purchasing them? Not really. I believe the price on them was like $180 or something. This was throughout 2014, mind you. So I think the Royals came out like 2011 or something like that. I'd purchased them at $180 and thought this was a steal. This is an impeccable steal. I'm not going to find it anywhere else. So let's get them. It turned out to be fake, and I still wore them anyway. I didn't give a flying fuck. And to this day, I'd never ever wear fake shit like that all my days. But moving on, I had the pair of like bread ones. I think they were like, they weren't the band ones, because they were very expensive back then. But I had those, and I also had a pair of Royals, and I would wear those, which is a pair of like skinny jeans. Oh my days. It'd be like a pair of skinny jeans. And back then, my favorite brand was I Love Ugly. That brand, oh my God, it was so iconic back then. They had these beautiful, I believe the term or the model of the pant was called the Vespa, something like that. A black pair of drop crotch pants, because mind you, I didn't know, I knew Rick Owens. I definitely knew the Rick Owens logo, but I didn't know about the brand. That's how far back, that's how dated I was into it, even though I didn't know about Rick Owens in general. But I remember I used to rock these pair of like I Love Ugly pants, drop crotch with the side zip at the end, and they were one of the first brands, if not the first brand, in doing a nice tapered carrot fit drop crotch type pant that was a little bit affordable. At the time, I did fork out, I believe, out of my own money. I saved up from work, and I saved about $180 or $160 and dropped them on a pair. They were a black pair. The quality was good, but the one thing was they were so uncomfortable to walk in. They even did a video on how to freaking walk up the stairs. Like, that's how stupid it was. But anyways, moving on. Had a pair of those, and I'd have like, it was tapered as shit towards the bottom, and I wear them over like Jordan 1s or something, like tucked in. So it really flexed the shoe. And then I went through a period with the flannel shirt. That was when like ASAP Rocky was doing the flannel shirt steez. Had the Pyrex 23. I had Doggy Style 69 on one of my shirts. And I got so many looks for that t-shirt. And I thought it was so fucking cool back then to rock a tee with Doggy Style 69 in the back. Like, all my days, bro. You really think about that? That shit's fucking stupid. But it was a steez back then. I would rock that. This is the fit I remember off the top of my head. Oh, the 40 ounce hats, or the 40 OZ hats were a massive thing back then. Oh my days. The 40 OZ, if you had those hats, which were going for like $120, which was a lot of money back then, mind you. I'd rock one of those. Yeah, 40 ounce, that was so good. I mean, I won't lie, that was stupid hard. That was a hard hat. It was that with the Doggy Style 69 shirt, my flannel, my I Love Ugly pants, and Jordan 1s. Oh, and I even remember another shirt I copped throughout the end of 2014. I would cop a pair of Air Max 1s Independence Days. Oh my god, that shoe back then was ridiculously hard. Like when I mean hard, I mean hard. That shoe, oh, it paved the way for this freaking Yeezy line. Oh my god. The all red Independence Days. I knew that was another shoe. Oh my god, I'm such a fake bitch. I paid like $280 for them and I never knew if they were fake or not. And I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% certain that they were. But don't judge me. I was a fuckboy back then. I would rock Independence Day 1s with my I Love Ugly pants as well, and thought that was an incredible steez, which, I mean, back then, not bad. For the time. I'm not saying now it was a steez, because it's not. Throughout those years, through 2014, I remember I uploaded my first YouTube video at the end of 2014, actually on Boxing Day. That's my anniversary for this channel, or for the YouTube channel, mind you. So, throughout those periods, throughout 2014, 15, it was hype beast. It was the epitome of hype beast, and I know for a fact that the views, I definitely want to post it now because my age demographic for my YouTube channel is not what it was back then. A lot of people have grown with me, which I couldn't appreciate anymore. It's crazy how you guys have just aged with the channel and aged your style as well. But back then, throughout 2014 to 2016, I would have been about 19 to 20-ish. Between the ages of 19 and 21, I went through the Fear of God, the Yeezy, the Ultra Boosts, the tapered denim type look. And that's not to say that that's a shit look, because honestly, back then, actually wasn't too bad. I remember a particular fit throughout 2015, which I rocked, was a Fear of God striped short sleeve t-shirt. It was, oh my god, even thinking about it now, it's actually not a bad shirt. I wouldn't wear it now, but back then, I would rock this wide, boxy silhouette from Fear of God with the exposed logo at the back, or branding tag at the back. Black and white horizontal stripe, which is a big no-no for me, thinking about it now, because horizontals actually make you look wider. But I would rock that with a pair of, I believe, Subis at the time. Subi was actually a very iconic brand throughout Australia. It's just, the quality isn't quite the best as what it used to be. But I used to wear a pair of Van Winkles in black, and then I'd rock my Common Projects Chelsea boots, which, if you really think about it now, it's still a silhouette where you could still wear. In this day and age, for me, the shoe is actually a bit too... It's a bit too round. I wouldn't say it's rounded, because the Bottega Veneta actually is a very rounded Chelsea boot. But along with the Common Projects, actually, I remember I did own a pair of Bottega Venetas as well. I had two pairs. I went through two pairs throughout that period. I had the Ardoise colorway. Ardoise. I believe Sanj actually has a pair of that colorway. And I also had the camel pair, or camel/tan. They were a hard shoe. That is a ridiculously beautiful boot. But the toe box for me and the whole silhouette, I think, is a bit too rounded, a bit too bulky to wear now. And the crepe sole on a Chelsea boot isn't particularly what I vibe with now. I really love to wear boots which really create a presence. It's a really weird and different way to think about things. But think about this. When you're in a bar or you're at a cafe. I'd say more cafe because the bar you can't really hear. But if you're at a cafe or a shopping center or something, and you hear a woman walking in heels, it's just that power, that presence, and it's just the vibe that the certain person will give off if they wear heels. And you just hear the click clack and the heels smashing against the floor really creates a certain presence of a certain individual. And I really like that when I wear my SLP Ranger boots, because those actually have the sole's been replaced. I don't know what heel it is, but it's just that sound where you just walk and you just feel a fucking vibe. It's that boost of confidence of like, yeah, I'm a boss when I walk down this street, and I know it. It's more of a mental thing. I'm sure a lot of women actually would feel like that when they would wear heels and you hear them clacking against the floor, if that's even a word. But you guys know what I mean. So I went through the period of skinny jeans, Common Projects, Bottega Veneta's, Yeezy Boosts, especially the Moon Rocks. I'd wear a lot. I'd wear the Moon Rocks quite a fair bit with my H&M tapered denim. That was like one of my most iconic silhouettes, was the H&M in just the stonewash. Did my own distressing and got my grandmother to taper them for me, and came out perfectly. And they'd taper and they'd stack. It was all about the stacks, where the calf and where your thigh was, as the thigh was like more of a straight cut or slim cut. After the knee, it would just taper tremendously and create a stack, which still to this day could work in your favor if you were to wear a pair of like SLP whites, for instance. You wear a nice pair of black skinny jeans, get that nice stacking towards your calf and your ankles. Yeah, that's actually a quite beautiful look. But back then, I used to buy so many pairs of Ultra Boosts. It was a fucking vibe. This is when Adidas was at the epitome, was at their peak in sneakers. And that's when no one fucked with Nike. No one bought Jordans. Like, Jordans were they were off the radar, and everyone wanted Ultra Boosts. The triple whites came in. The triple blacks came in. I still remember buying my first pair of Ultra Boosts, from Hype DC with 10% off. The OG pair, the purple and teal, whatever that pattern that was, the 1.0s, because, there's like 4.0s now, which is crazy. But back then, I used to get 10% off for signing up with Hype DC on subscribed email, 10% off code, rip out like $180 for a pair of Ultra Boosts. So I used to rock those, had my triple whites, had a pair of my cream Ultra Boosts. I paid a fair bit for them, paid about $450 to $500 back then. Definitely not something I don't regret, because I actually made money on that shoe and I did wear them. But those creams were ridiculously hard to find, and I was very lucky to actually find them in my size. And then moving on, I used to wear my Yeezys as well. I believe I had the Moon Rocks from release. I camped out a day or two. I think it was a day and a half for them. Paid like $280 retail, flipped them for 1.1. Stupid, I know. It's stupid money. That's how I afforded the Bottega Venetas and the Fear of God and all that stuff, because I just flipped them and they were just stupid money to make. I used to have that. I don't remember if I had Pirate Blacks. I believe I did for a certain period. I think so. If I'm looking back, maybe I did. But one shoe I did have, and I paid resale for, were the 750s. I believe that's what the model was called. It was so long ago. The triple black Yeezy 750. And I remember I was hassling the seller, and I feel bad now, but back then I was like, dude, I'm dropping $1,000. Like, I want to make fucking sure that these are legit, because there's just so many fakes out there and I didn't know. And it turns out they were legit, came with a receipt and everything. I paid, I believe, $1,050 for them. Saved up money, waited, and then that was a shoe that I would wear combined with my Van Winkles and also my pair of nudie wax denim, which I actually want to get again, because that particular silhouette is actually quite nice. But unfortunately, or fortunate enough for me, that I don't do the nudies like skinny line for wax denim. It's more of a slim cut, which actually works in my favor perfectly. I like to wear a slim pair of leather, waxed trousers, not leather, so they're more of a waxed material. Gives off that nice shimmer and creates different texture within your outfit if you do want to go for an all black look or something like that. So I'd wear a pair of skinny nudies that were waxed. I'd wear those, and then this hoodie, this particular hoodie from Yeezy Season 1. Oh my days. This was like, it was my favorite piece. This, mind you, this is all in 2015, start of 2016. This is where this kind of progressed. I had this Yeezy Season 1 cropped half zip hoodie, and I would still wear that today. It is an impeccable hoodie, made in Turkey with Turkish cotton. It was thick as hell. I for sure, no doubt, believe it was enzyme wash, because it came so vintage-like. The color and the dye of the fabric, I remember when I washed it for the first time, the color just faded, and I was so scared, but that was the intended look. And I remember I didn't want to wash it that often, and it was comfy. I could wear it. I could unzip because it was a quarter zip, but it had this beautiful oversized hood. It was cropped. It was super wide. This is when this whole wide and crop trend started to come up, and this was through Yeezy Season 1, and this hoodie was just fit like a glove. I wear it to all my campouts. So I used to wear it to my campouts because it was cozy, it was comfy, and it had a beautiful steeze to it. It was Yeezy Season. It was super hyped back then. I was like, you know what, I'm a fucking mad cunt. Get the fuck over it. But legit, it was half zip. I could unzip it, and then I could lift the shoulders back a little bit, and it would actually make it more cropped. Or I would zip it all the way and then rock it intendedly, or the intended crop look, but not as cropped. That was a really big analogy for just, you guys know what I mean. I'd zip it up, and it wasn't that cropped. Happy days. So I'd wear that, and then Yeezy Boosts, and then that's what I was going through. And then I went to my first trip to Japan. This is when Off-White was booming, and even still today, they're still booming. Off-White is actually, there are some pieces that are actually quite fire, especially women's line, but price point once again is crazy. But I remember I went to my first trip in Japan in 2016, and this is where I came across Off-White. This is my peak of hype beasties. I would go through all the sneaker stores. Yeezys, how much are they? 2K? Nah, mate, not a chance. And then I would just go through hype beasts, but like, it's Supreme, Off-White, Yeezy, 3 top brands on my top tier list of 2016. I'll tell you that right now. Except Rick Owens would have been up there, because I did buy my Ramones, but we'll get into that in a sec. So I would go through my Japan trip throughout 2016. Went to the Off-White store. Was absolutely amazed by just the design of it and how beautiful it was. This is when I sort of dove into Yoji and Rick, because I remember I said I had like a lot of phlegm when I said Rick. That was really disgusting. But I would go through. I remember I actually went to the Rick store in 2016 for the first time and saw the garments and thought, this was crazy. What is this? Like, whoa, look at like the atmosphere. It looked so cool. And then walked past Yoji, and a nurse was like, oh, this is Yoji Yamamoto. No way. But I never walk in, like, at all. It's my first trip, mind you. So I was only into like I just go thrifting and see look all the hype beast stuff and thought, okay, this is cool. Fear of God, Supreme, Yeezy, Off-White, Happy Days. That's all I was into. And then I went to the Off-White store and I saw this amazing hoodie, which I know I could, I don't know if I would wear it today, because the branding, I'm not like a branded person at all anymore, like in terms of logos. But this hoodie was oversized. It was long, so it was actually quite different from my Yeezy Season 1 hoodie. But it was this long, crazy, just like bleached black. It was a really weird material to describe. It was 100% cotton, but it was faded to the point where it almost started going orange, but it wasn't there yet. And the way it was done was just amazing. And the back had like a tiger slash. So I had 3 slashes at the back, and there'd be netting behind it just to really, secure and make sure it actually isn't a full slash at the back. So the intended purpose was to look like you just got scratched by a tiger. and it was in this faded, absolutely beyond faded black hoodie, and it had off in like red fonts right underneath the front of the hoodie where it overlapped towards the front of the actual hood, and on the sleeves as well to like tear me off or something like that to reference the tearing at the back. And I remember I paid about $500 or $600 back then, and think, whoa, all my days, I can't believe I spent that. But once again, I'd wear those and then combine it with my Y3 ZG knit boosts. Oh, that shoe. Oh, my days. That Y3 ZG knit boosts, white and black. Oh, they were a fucking shoe. They were impeccably hard. I remember the day I bought them. I thought, holy shit, I can't believe I have this shoe. I can't recall how much I did pay for them, but I remember at the same time I had the ZG knit boosts or ZG knits. I really wanted a pair of the Yay knits, the fly knit boosts or whatever. That were really fly knit racers. That was sick. But I also had the ZG knits and also the Casa highs from Y3 too. So as my style progressed throughout 2017 was where I started to really find something, kind of. I remember the end of 2016 is when I purchased my first pair of Rick Owens Ramones. Bought a pair of Dark Shadow wax canvas. You actually can't find that anymore. It's dumb, stupid how hard it is to find a pair of Ramones because I'm actually looking for a pair at the moment. Well, not really, but just eyeing off where to find it when I do have money. And it's so dumb to find a pair. But I bought a pair of wax canvas for, I believe at the time it was around $525 or $475 Australian dollars. Came with a tote bag, so I saved $50 there because I flipped it for $50 fucking bucks. Because people buy Rick totes that are free when you buy something from the Rick store. So I bought them I bought them from Rick Owens Online, Ramones. And then that's where things started to change a little bit. I would go a little bit more for that avant-garde, dark, black aesthetic throughout 2017. I remember I went to Zara. I bought this 3/4, really wide, crazy sweatshirt, 3/4 sleeve. I still have it today, and I actually am rocking it. Have it cuffed, so it doesn't give off that full 3/4 sleeve effect, but it's still wide, and it's really washed out because of how old it is. So I would rock that with, I can't remember what pants. I think I was really vibing Uniqlo. That was like losing my Uniqlo virginity. It was throughout 2017. And then during I think it was around 2017, 2018 was when I had I believe it was my second trip to Japan. Yes. End of 2017 is when I really dove into the Rick Owens. I got my first pair of crop trousers from Rick. I did pay retail, paid $720 after tax in Japan. I got the tax back as well because I actually am a tourist when I was over there, duh. But I did actually get my first pair of Rick pants, and that was where my wardrobe kind of went towards. It went towards that vibe because I really wanted to make sure that most of my wardrobe fit with that. So I had this Zara t-shirt, which I still have, and it was in my recent Instagram photo, even though it's just a half pic. Verdugo.Vibes on Instagram. Give us a follow. It was a very drapey, beyond drapey, almost rayon type t-shirt in black, very long, and I'd rock that with my Rick trousers and my SLP Ranger boots, because that was the boots that I had back then, and still to this day from 2017 were my SLP Ranger boots, my favorite shoe of all time by far. I used to rock that throughout 2017, winter 2017 and 2018. Throughout 2018 as well, yes, I believe, end of 2017, start of 2018. My dates are getting so fucked around, but it'd be my trousers, my Rick trousers, my boots, and that black tee. And it was just the avant-garde aesthetic mixed with a bit of something different. I remember I had this yellow puffer jacket, which was super cropped. I'd rock that a fair bit, and it was just D's and a half. Combine that with just Uniqlo puffer jackets. Jewelry wasn't on point. Jewelry wasn't something I had my eye on, but when I went to Japan, I did find something thrifted, and that was where it was. I just really go with Uniqlo stuff, just because that was within my price range. Whenever there's something came up, yeah, I would purchase it. And that's where I found the Needles trousers. I went through the bare knuckles through end of 2018-ish. Start of 2018, I believe. Yeah. And that's where my peak for fashion really occurred, was the start of 2018. This is where my style actually began, for me personally. Start of 2018, this is where I found where I really like who I am. And that's where it was shown in my Japan pickups, because it was more workwear inspired, vintage, mixed in with a bit of, minimalism with the monkey time knitwear, which I actually have. It's like a turtleneck in camel, very boxy, oversized, cropped as well, which is beautiful. But throughout 2018, the main style that I went for was just a clean, minimal, semi-avant-garde workwear. Me. That's it. It was me every time I wore something. 2018, I would bust out, which I still have, and I can't wait to fit back into them again. I literally can't wait. I'm not that far off into fit into them again. My bare knuckles Japanese salvage denim, the skinny cut. Jacob actually posted on his Instagram when they sold out that I'm pretty sure that they lost money, or lost a little bit of money on these jeans, because they were fabricated that fucking well and used that much fucking money to produce these pair of pants that actually didn't make profit, even though the retail was around $260 or $220 or something like that. And they are the most beautiful pair of denim I own. And you can tell in the quality wise, for Japan quality, oh man, you just can't compare. And that particular pair of denim is what I wore all the time throughout 2018. It was that, and once again, my SLP Rangers. That was like my shoe. And I remember I bought my horsebit loafers from Gucci. I actually bought them secondhand in my second trip to Japan for $105. It's a stupid price. I still have them today. They need to be actually resold, because there's almost going to be a hole in them. That's how busted they are. But I will rock those now. I didn't touch them. I did not touch that loafer till the end of 2020. Oh, sorry, the end of 2019, where I started to really get my passion for clothing and stuff again. I didn't want to say passion for fashion, because fucking hell, but I did. But moving on, I didn't touch the loafer in 2018, and yeah, I didn't at all. But the BK jacket, my bare knuckles jacket, once again, is an iconic piece of clothing in my wardrobe that will always stay with me till the end of time. Being completely honest, that and my jeans, they will never ever leave my wardrobe, ever. No matter how broke I am and I need to sell something, I will not touch those two, because they are a part of me. It's something where I know it will never go out of style. It's something iconic to me and will always stay within my wardrobe. So throughout 2018, that was where my style kind of revolved around as well. And I remember rocking my Rick pants, and then just vibing, literally vibing with my Needles, Rick, Issy as well. I believe in 2018, I did have a pair of Issy pleats as well. The Issy wave started coming on, and then here we are today. How would I even define my style? I can't tell you. I really can't. It's something where I don't believe I have an attachment to a certain style or a certain niche, because I don't want to be, like I said at the start of this podcast, I don't want to be placed into a certain niche or a certain style, because for me, that gets fucking boring. Imagine having, like, I get this question asked a lot in a Q&A, is if you have to wear one brand for the rest of your life, what would it be? And I always say Rick or Uniqlo, because those are just everyday. They have every single item for an everyday occasion. It works. Rick Owens has a pair of denim. They got a pair of trousers. They got a pair of aesthetic trousers, which are like more slim cut and more dress up. They've got blazers, and Uniqlo has the exact same thing. And then with Uniqlo U, you get seasons upon seasons of Uniqlo U. Works for me. But if you think about it now, with my style right now, the way I want to go in this point in time is gravitate more back to my old style. Go towards the Rick, keep my Issy for sure, keep the BK, but just gravitate more towards just brands that I don't really know, like, and I'm going to pronounce this so badly, Andy Millimista, fuck me, I just say Andy. Pair that with Yoji, but also don't go straight into the avant-garde aesthetic. I want to mix it with other shit too, because that's what I really, really want to do in the future, and just because it really depends on my mood, and mood in clothing is another topic for another day. And right now, my laptop is actually dying, so I do have to wrap this up quite soon. But my advice to you for your style, where do you start? First and foremost is look at your bank account. Look at where you stand financially if you are able to afford certain things. If you're on a semi-tight budget, not even semi-tight, if you're on a full budget, man, go straight to vintage, go to your Salvos, go to Savers, go to Vinnies, anything. Start finding what you like and what you don't like. What colors do you like? What colors don't suit you? Even though I believe any color would suit anybody, you just have to have the confidence to pull it off. The only thing you really have to worry about, the only thing you really have to worry about is your skin tone compared to camel, beige, or that color palette is just a little bit iffy. There is a video on YouTube from this girl I watched, I can't really remember, but she went over skin tones and pairing up beige and how it works for certain skin tones. So just go with that. And then once you have like a certain budget, then you can start gravitating towards Essence boys and start jumping on the Essence wave and browse brands that you like. What kind of vibe are you going for? You know, it depends what age. I wouldn't say what age you are as well, because I don't want to place age into a certain niche, because I feel like you can wear whatever you want at any age. But, you know, if you're really loving Our Legacy, go and smash Our Legacy. Very, you know, once a modern westernized workwear type look, Our Legacy. Carhartt, Dickies. If you want just a plain and simple look, vintage, Dickies, Carhartt, and just Uniqlo. Honestly, those are just the brands I gravitate towards, because I know that works for me and it's what I like. And that's where you start to find yourself within these brands. As funny and shitty, as weird as that might seem, you just start to really mess with things. Your taste starts to come into play, and then you'll start to realize what you kind of like. And style it's a hard thing to really place on someone, because it's, you know, it's something where you just might be uncomfortable with what style you want to go for. Maybe you think you really love avant-garde but don't think it will suit you. You really love that comm aesthetic but you're not sure if it suits. Just try it. Just go out of your way, give it a try, and get out of your comfort zone. You know, go with a bit of color. Maybe if you don't wear black and you want to go all black, do it. Nothing's stopping you. The only person that's stopping you is you. And just make sure you check with yourself financially. Are you able to afford these certain brands? If not, find alternatives. Go on ASOS. ASOS has some bargains, man. I try to order once a month, and I need to stop, because I'm gonna order one very soon, because there's a sale on at the moment. And ASOS does have some really beautiful stuff for $20-$30. It's dumb cheap. And if not, go to Zara, go to H&M. Just try to shine away from the fashion trendy stuff, because you will waste money on that. And fast fashion and trendy and stuff will be another topic too. But like I said, it is difficult at the start, believe me, it is. But just try to find influencers that you like too. Maybe start looking on YouTube for certain guys that you like, or certain women that you might like too, that do fashion related content. I'm really fucking with Daniel Simmons. I really, really love his content. He's a very minimalistic, oversized, slouchy type of guy, but he has that strong, big, like aesthetic, big look on him, and suits oversized clothing so well, and it's very minimal. So if you are something, you know, after something like that, you can suss out like Daniel Simmons. If you really want that crazy out there designer aesthetic, you know, to go to fucking Sanjiv. That goes without saying. But those are just the top two, which I've been vibing a lot with lately, and feel like they're just like paving a wave. So with all that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, but also subscribe to the podcast gang. We upload every Tuesday on the podcast, and then on my YouTube channel I upload every Thursday too. But I don't really need to say that, because you guys might already know. So I'll leave a banger for you, a very low-key banger for the ending track, and I will see you guys on the next podcast on the Robert Verdugo podcast. You guys take care. Have a great one. See ya.